the Greater Nashville Alliance of Black Educators. And so start us off, Mr. Crenshaw.
Well, thank you, Mr. Haney. As president of the National Alliance of Black School Educators, one of our main goals is to raise funds for scholarships. And we do a scholarship gala at Fisk University. We also give 3 $1,000 scholarships. We do a back-to-school supply drive. We also partnered this year with Belinda Burke, the State Farm Insurance, for a back-to-school for teachers, where they fill out an application and they select 100 teachers, and they give supplies to needed teachers. We also do a back-to-school drive for our teachers and students for needed schools and children also, which is widely received. We also do an educational forum, and I'll let Mr. Blair tell you more about that educational forum that was held at Jackson Street Community Church of Christ. We also do a toy drive. We do a toy drive where we partner with the Salvation Army and for needed children. So our goal is to be an advocate for our children in the community. So that's some of the things that we do as the Greater National Alliance of Black School Educators. And we want to stand for advocates for all children, and especially those of African American descent.
Mr. Chamberlain, when you think in terms of having been involved in education, elementary education, as long as you have, what are some of the things that you might say that teachers ought to do in terms of encouraging students to become all that they can be?
I think the greatest thing that teachers need to have to begin with is having the high expectations that children can learn and want to learn, and to spend a lot of time in making sure that they feel comfortable and challenging those students to do their very, very best. Teachers have an awesome job with the curriculum, with all of the things they have to do, with all of the administrative parts of attendance and all of that kind of thing, but their primary job is to teach our children and to come to school prepared to teach them and to be able to address their individual differences and yet to group them so that they can achieve and accelerate in their learning. Our teachers do a wonderful job, and many times we don't give them all the credit for the hard work that they do. It's a hard job. It doesn't end 8 o'clock at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It goes on to 6 and 7 o'clock at night. Teachers come to school on weekends, and they ask for keys so they can come to school and work in their rooms, planning. Even those who go home earlier still take care of school after they get home. So it's a full-time job. It's a tough job, but it's a very rewarding job. And when you see children getting it, I got it, I know how to do that, I know what you're talking about, that's your reward. That's your catching them learning and getting them to recognize that they can and they can be all that they want to be. Planting those seeds so that they will strive for more and want to do more. Getting them to want to read. I think one of the most important things teachers can do is to encourage children to want to read. They make assignments, but setting the stage where they can introduce a new book, and they're running to the library and say, do you have that book? Do you have that book? Is there another book by that author? Because they like reading. And once you get them to reading, you are opening their minds to the future, to what can be. So I think our teachers are very, very important, motivating our students and encouraging them to be their best.
Mr. Blair, in terms of your organization, what kind of support do you find that you have in the community?
Well, as Ms. Chamberlain just spoke about, GNAPS's goal is to kind of partner with all those different stakeholders. Education is changing. In order for it to be successful, then we have to engage all the stakeholders. It does start with the teachers, the parents, the students. They have to be engaged, but we have to look beyond that. We have to have the support of the community. We want the support of businesses, as Mr. Crenshaw referenced. That's why we team with a lot of businesses and a lot of organizations so that we can be successful. You have to look at where kids going, where are jobs at. We want to work with organizations so that our kids are trained and prepared for this new education that's coming to us, and they'll be prepared to get those jobs in technical fields and in the different areas that education has taken us into. So GNAPSI engages all stakeholders so that we're preparing our kids, and we have a relationship with those stakeholders so that we can be successful to the kids that we're working with and trying to teach.
Do you get any, Ms. Crenshaw, any support from the Metropolitan Board of Education, or is this just a private, a public kind of organization that does not depend upon public funds? Is that what we're saying?
No, so we don't depend upon public funds. We are an affiliate of the National Alliance of Black School Educators. And as an affiliate, we are a 501c nonprofit organization, and we solicit donations. One of our major fundraisers is the gala, which will be held at Fisk University. We do a golf tournament at Country Hill Golf Course. And so those are our major two fundraisers to raise money. So we don't get any support from Metro Public Schools or anything like that. But we do get a lot of support from other businesses, like I said, State Farms, Cracker Barrel. It's so many of them that stakeholders that have an interest in public education, and so they come to us. So it is an opportunity for them to be partakers in this endeavor to better our children.
In other words, they understand that what you're doing is important to them, and that's why you can have all of these drives and give all of these giveaways and et cetera, primarily because they serve as a resource in terms of helping you accumulate the resources that you need in order to give it out to the children.
That's correct, Dr. Haney, and I like to say that one of our goals is to partner with more businesses, and so that we'll be able to provide more opportunity for our children.
Very good. We're going to take this second commercial break, and then we'll come back, and we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.